Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're doing exactly that, diving deep into a pretty common scene, really, an everyday restaurant interaction.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems simple, right? On the surface. We're going to unpack it, though, and find some, well, fascinating layers. Communication, expectations.
Yeah, and even a bit of unexpected conflict, actually.
Exactly.
And our mission today is not just about vocabulary lists you can memorize.
Right.
We want to extract the subtle stuff, the social dynamics, the little cues that, well, they make or break how we talk to each other.
So you get a kind of shortcut, yeah, to
Yeah.
understanding how language really works out there in the wild.
Mm-hmm. And how simple phrases, things we say all the time, can carry like a ton of meaning, sometimes hidden meaning.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Picture this. You're in a restaurant. There's a waiter, Fabio,
Okay.
and he's serving a customer who pretty quickly becomes, let's just say, a bit difficult.
Uh-huh. A challenging customer. We've all seen them, maybe been them.
Maybe. But this whole scenario, it's not just a story. It's like a perfect window into how these really common high-frequency words get used.
Yeah, in real life, sometimes frustrating situations.
Totally.
It absolutely sets the stage. You can really see communication under, well, a bit of pressure and how quickly things can turn, based on just a few words.
Okay, let's walk through it then.
Cool, bye.
Play by play. So Fabio greets the customer, really polite, offers to take the order.
Standard opening.
Yeah. Good evening, my name is Fabio. I'll be your waiter for tonight. May I take your order? Classic.
And the customer.
Immediately hits back with, no, I'm still working on it.
Okay, fair enough. Sometimes you need a minute.
But then adds, almost like a complaint, this menu is not even in English.
Ooh, okay. So a slightly prickly start from the customer there. Sets a certain tone, doesn't it?
It does. But Fabio, he stays professional, tries to help, asks, what's good here for you, sir? And he recommends the spaghetti and meatballs.
A safe bet. A classic dish.
You'd think. But here's where it gets, kind of weird. The customer asks, straight up, does it come with Coke and fries?
Wow. Okay. Coke and fries with spaghetti and meatballs. What's your first reaction to hearing that in, presumably not a fast food joint?
It just screams mismatch, doesn't it? Like fundamentally different ideas about what kind of place this is.
Absolutely. That one question, it's like a little cultural collision right there in a sentence.
Yeah.
It immediately flags a whole different set of expectations, a different dining script almost.
Dining script, I like that.
Yeah, it's like they're reading from a fast food menu in a place where Fabio's suggesting pasta. It hints at a clash right away.
So Fabio, he handles it, explains, no, but the meal comes with either soup or salad.
Okay, standard options for a set meal, maybe.
And then he adds, and a complimentary glass of wine, sir.
Ah, complimentary wine. Nice touch. Trying to smooth things over, maybe elevate the experience a bit.
Seems like it. The customer thinks for a second, then says, I'll go with the spaghetti and meatballs, salad, and the wine.
Okay, so decision made. Finally. Seems like we're back on track.
You'd hope so. Fabio says, excellent choice. Your order will be ready soon.
Standard closing for taking an order.
But the customer, still pushing, immediately comes back with, how soon is soon?
Oh, impatient. Okay.
And Fabio gives a specific time, 20 minutes.
Which sounds pretty reasonable for a sit-down meal, right? Especially pasta.
Right. But the customer just snaps, declares, you know what, I'll just go grab a burger across the street.
Wow. Just like that, after all that.
Just like that. And as you can imagine, that's the point where Fabio, the waiter, apparently gets really angry.
I can see why, yeah. That's a sharp, dismissive ending after guiding them through the menu, dealing with the odd requests.
Exactly. This whole exchange from the polite start to that abrupt walkout, it's just packed with these little phrases and cues.
It really is. Let's rewind a bit and break down some of those key phrases, because how just a few words are used tells us so much.
Yeah, let's do it. High-frequency phrases. Let's start with the customer's first line. No, I'm still working on it. We know what it means literally, but what's it doing there?
Well, I'm still working on it,
Okay.
It's a classic way to ask for more time politely, isn't it?
Right. Instead of just no.
Exactly.
It
It
is-
frames meeting time as like an ongoing process.
Right.
Makes it sound softer. If someone asks if you finished a report, I'm still working on it, sounds better than, nope, haven't finished.
Yeah, less abrupt. It suggests you're engaged with it, even if it is just reading the menu.
Precisely. It sets a tone. Occupied, but not necessarily rude, at least not inherently.
Okay, makes sense. Then there was the big one, Coke and fries. We all know Coca-Cola, we know French fries. But the combination What does that signal in this
It's
context?
not just the items, it's the package.
Mm.
Coke and fries is basically shorthand for,
Wow.
well, America's fast food meal, right?
Totally.
So asking for that specifically in a place where the waiter is recommending spaghetti and offering wine,
Yeah.
it screams disconnect. It signals casual expectations,
Yeah.
maybe unfamiliarity with that specific restaurant's vibe, or just, a habit carried over from somewhere else. It immediately flags those mismatched expectations we talked about.
Definitely. Okay, then Fabio offered a complimentary glass of wine. Complimentary. We all love that word. What's its purpose here strategically?
Well, yeah, complimentary just means free. Simple enough.
But it feels like more than just free here.
It is. In a service setting, offering something complimentary it's a gesture. It elevates the experience, shows hospitality.
Right.
It can be an incentive or just make the customer feel a bit special, valued. It often signals a certain level of service, a sign of quality.
Which the customer asking for Coke and fries might not fully appreciate.
That's the clash, exactly.
Yeah.
The offer of complimentary wine highlights the kind of experience Fabio thinks he's providing, which seems different from what the customer expects.
Gotcha. And when the customer finally decided, they said, I'll go with the spaghetti. Well, I'll go with not I want or I'll have.
I'll go with is super common. It's just a very natural, idiomatic way to say, I'm choosing or I'll take when ordering.
Okay.
It feels a bit softer than maybe I'll take, more conversational than I choose.
Mm-hmm.
It implies you've looked at the options and landed on one. It's
Yeah.
just standard ordering language in English.
Okay. And then the final line, the exit. I'll just go grab a burger across the street. Let's talk about grab.
Yeah, grab. It means to go get quickly, right?
Mhm.
It implies speed, convenience, often informality, like, let's grab lunch, or can you grab some milk?
Right. Quick and easy.
Exactly. So in the context of the customer leaving, saying they'll grab a burger, perfectly sums up what they want. Something fast, simple, no fuss.
Directly contrasting with the 20-minute wait and the whole sit-down experience Fabio was offering.
Precisely. It's a casual dismissal of everything that just happened.
So, okay, let's tie this all together. Why did Fabio get so angry? It seems like, customer changed their mind, it happens, but it sounds like real anger here.
Well, yeah, on one level, it's wasted time. That's definitely part of it for any service person.
There. Time is money in that job.
But I think it goes deeper. It touches on something called emotional labor.
Emotional labor. Explain that.
Service staff, they invest energy in creating a good experience. They manage their own feelings, maybe frustration, maybe boredom, to project politeness, helpfulness.
Right. Even with difficult people.
Exactly. So the customer's indecisiveness, the weird request showing they didn't get the place, and then just walking out after Fabio went through the whole process, it feels like a rejection of that effort. It violates the unspoken rules of the interaction.
So it's not just the time, it's the disrespect. The feeling of being dismissed.
I think so. That fundamental mismatch we keep mentioning is key. Fabio's recommending dishes, offering complimentary wine that suggests, a reasonably nice place, maybe a bit more formal.
Yeah, not a diner or fast food.
Right. But the customer's complaints, asking for Coke and fries, the impatience, and finally choosing a quick burger instead, it shows a total disregard for what the restaurant and Fabio were offering.
Undermining his role, the restaurant's identity.
Exactly. It's like saying, what you offer has no value to me. I'd rather have fast food. That's bound to sting, especially after trying to be helpful. It undermines his professionalism.
Yeah, you can really feel that frustration building. That abrupt exit is just the final straw.
It really puts you in Fabio's shoes, doesn't it? That feeling of wasted effort, being unappreciated. After offering what he probably thought was a quality suggestion and a nice gesture with the wine, it shows how these little interactions, these microaggressions almost, can really add up for people working in service. The walkout wasn't just leaving, it felt like a rejection, turning frustration into, probably real anger.
Wow. So, okay, this whole scene, even with the dramatic ending, it really roots these common phrases in real life. For you listening, understanding these little nuances, it's actually super useful.
That's absolutely right. Whether you're ordering food or, asking for more time on a work project using I'm still working on it, or just trying to figure out what someone really means.
Yeah.
Recognizing these cues, the weight behind simple words like complimentary or grab, it helps you navigate things better.
It makes you a better communicator, maybe, more socially aware.
Definitely. It helps you understand the subtext. Knowing I'm still working on it means give me space, lets you react appropriately. Understanding Coke and fries might signal casual expectations, helps you read the situation, whether you're the customer or the server.
Right. Or that complimentary isn't just free, it's a signal about the type of place you're in.
Exactly. It equips you to hear what's not being said, to understand the unwritten rules floating around in any conversation.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, we've looked closely at this seemingly simple restaurant chat. Hopefully, it's giving you a clearer picture of how common English phrases work and also the unspoken rules of, just interacting with people, especially when service is involved.
Yeah, we've seen how simple words pack a punch, carry big implications, and how fast expectations can collide, sometimes quite dramatically, like here.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And maybe as you go about your day, you could think about how often we might maybe unknowingly project our own habits or casual expectations onto situations that are maybe a bit more formal or just different.
Yeah. Like, what does that desire for Coke and fries in a place offering complimentary wine really tell us? Or the impatience? How good are we at adjusting our communication style?
It raises a big question, really. How clearly do we signal our own needs and expectations? And how well do we read the signals from others, especially when the context, the environment keeps shifting?
Definitely something to chew on.